It carries 37 cars, 282 passengers, and has made over 30,000 crossings. This is Swift, the SRN4 MK2 Hovercraft, which was built just across the water here at HMS Daedalus, Lyon Solent. Swift arrived here from Dover on June the 28th, 1994, a gift from Hoverspeed to the Hovercraft Museum here at Lyon Solent. The craft was launched in 1969 and was first operated by Hover Lloyd between Ramsgate and Calais. Later, the superstructure was moved outwards and the craft's ownership was transferred to Hoverspeed. So let's climb the steps and go aboard. These two plaques at the entrance commemorate the christening ceremony in January 1969 by Lady Wilson, wife of the Prime Minister. The lower one to commemorate the visit of Sir Christopher Cockerell, the inventor of the hovercraft, in October 1994. Here we see the passenger cabin, which is duplicated on the starboard side of the craft. Aircraft-type seats are provided to give passengers a comfortable crossing. In the event of emergency, life jackets are provided. This area seats 141, with plenty of room for the hostesses to move with the duty-frees. Access to the car deck is through this door, which is kept closed while the hovercraft is in flight. On the roof of the craft, we see the control cabin, the radar and radio aerials. The two tail fins steer the craft. The four Proteus engines which propel it have been removed and returned to Hoverspeed. Hopefully in the future they will be returned to us and they will be replaced on this craft. In the distance, through the mist, the Isle of Wight can be seen, where this craft was built. Let's go inside and have a look at some of the controls. Here we see the captain's seat and steering column, and a comprehensive selection of meters and gauges. This is one of the radar sets in the navigator's position. This is the position for the second captain. This is the ladder to the car deck. This is the car deck, which normally holds 35 cars. Now it's being used as a storeroom to store small hovercraft belonging to the Hovercraft Museum. Now let's have a look at one or two craft in more detail. This is the Hoverhawk Mark II, made between 1970 and 1972. It had 3 engines with a speed of 30 knots. It carried 2 people. This is the Skitterbug, a twin-seater hovercraft with a single 2-stroke engine. This is the Winfield, a fun-type hovercraft which came from an amusement park in the Channel Islands. This is the Clark cushion, one of the first amateur hovercraft to be made. This is a model of the SRN4, and you will shortly see the cars inside. A total of 35. And now, what does the future hold for Swift? We are hoping, with the help of lottery money, to purchase this large Dunning hangar here at HMS Daedalus, Leon Solent. In this hangar we would house the SRN4, the BH7 and many of the smaller hovercraft which we keep at present in a temporary museum at Porchester. A view of the control tower and airfield at HMS Daedalus. Now let's have a look at the BH7, which is housed on the airfield. We enter the airfield through these large electrically operated gates. The BH7 was built in Cowes on the Isle of Wight in 1969. It was used by the Inter-Services and later the Naval Hovercraft Trials Unit. It saw service in Sweden and later in the United States of America. The BH7 weighs 55 tons and is powered with a 4,500 horsepower Marine Proteus engine. The large tube was added later for sonar purposes. This has been a short video of some of the exhibits of the Hovercraft Museum.